Hello. I was just thinking about how weird it's gonna be. I mean, I guess it already is, just how many people have some sort of internet presence or social media. And that's just like how we're gonna be remembered. Like, when we start dying, you're still gonna have like your social media pages up. Like, generations from now, it's gonna be like stalking your grandma you never met, like stalking her old Instagram page. I mean, I guess like in some ways that's kind of cool. Like, if you were trying to find someone, if you were trying to find like your great 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 grandma, it probably, if you Google her name, there probably won't be a lot that'll come up. I mean, unless she was like someone who had some sort of position of, I don't know. Most of your great grandmas probably won't pop up if you Google their names. But then like give it a couple generations, and if you like search up your great grandma's name, it'll be like their old social medias or current social medias. Which, I mean, in some ways that's like cool. I mean, it's not like completely awful. I mean, if you have like a bad digital footprint. Like, imagine years from now, someone's trying to find me and they find like these YouTube videos. This is like how I'm gonna be remembered if I die. I mean, I think I've done more greater things than just talk on the internet. I don't know what I'll be remembered for. If I died right now, I don't know. Probably just an ambitious college student. Because I went to college early. I don't know what else. Wasted potential. I feel like it's a lot easier to like there's probably so many people who, if they died, I don't know if it's like rude, I don't know, but like if they died young, there probably would have been more people who were like, oh, they had so much wasted potential. Oh, I know they were gonna have such a bright future, they were gonna be so successful, but then they didn't die and they just lived on and weren't successful or didn't have a bright future. It's a lot easier to like romanticize dead people's future lives when in reality if they kept on living, shit might have got worse. And not that it's better to die, definitely, still probably would have been better if they didn't die. But I just think it's like a lot of, I mean, that makes sense. You wouldn't want to be like, oh, this person died, well, they weren't gonna have a good future anyway, they weren't that bright. But it's like, I don't know, people, it's like that thing people say, it's like, they don't talk highly of you until you're dead, and you're dead, so you can't hear any of the praise or anything. I don't know why I'm talking about death. I'm not like in a depressing mood or anything. I mean, I feel like it's probably harder to talk about death when I am in a depressing mood. Although it's usually not death that I get. I'm just like wasting time. That's like my biggest fear, which I guess kind of like relates to death. Like, that's what it, we don't have infinite time in the world because we'll eventually die. We don't really know when that's gonna be. And I feel like I try to make the most of time. I mean, there's like two, you can either like make the most of time by living out like your happiest life, making every day fun and how you want to live, or it's like you're not wasting time because you're actively working on a grind or trying to get somewhere. Which, I mean, I guess if you're gonna die early, it's probably best to if you live long enough to have the success of your hard work, then that'll be good. If you, I don't know, I mean, it's all preference. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just like rambling. But it's just kind of like a choice, Either we can live every moment now, just have fun, spontaneous, like go to parties every day, whatever, socialize all the time. Because we could die any day, so, you wouldn't want to be like, oh, I died and I didn't even have a fun time. But then if you do, continue living, you're like, oh, I spent my whole adolescence going to parties and socializing, that now that I'm old, I don't have any money or a future, and now that I'm old, I can't be as spontaneous. I feel like a balance is good. I feel like right now I'm just kind of in the more of the grind mode. I'm not really socializing. I mean, I'm socializing a lot at school, but just not outside of that. Outside of that, it's just working on music and physically working. I got a job, and I drove for the first time yesterday. I drove in a parking lot, and then I like actually drove to college. I didn't have college, it was a Saturday, but I drove to the college. So that's cool. I have my permit, so it's not till April I can take the test. Not that I'm ready for the test, obviously. It was my first time ever driving. But that's exciting. It was a lot easier than I thought. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be harder, like in more chaotic situations, like in highways and bigger, you know, stoplights and stuff. But the actual like driving of the car and directing it wasn't as hard as I thought. I know some people like struggle a lot, some people don't. But ideally, I don't want to take my driving test multiple times because you have to pay for that, right? Which, I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but tomorrow I have a field trip to a music studio. My school is doing a field trip. And I'm looking at spring classes for college because that's coming up. And I think I want, there's honestly a lot of classes I want to take, which one, I don't like, you can't take every class obviously because some of them conflict and, you know, you need to have time to work in other classes. And two, I just want to make sure I do have time to continue working on work and music and stuff outside of school. But it is tempting to sign up for as many classes as possible. I think I definitely want to take documentary production. That seems really cool. It says in the description, and just other students I've talked with who've taken the class, that by like the end of it you like make your own documentary. It has to be like 10 minutes minimum. So I've already been like trying to think of like cool ideas. I really love like interview documentaries. Like I'm thinking, I don't like have anyone specific I want to interview. I mean, I think I love documentaries slash interview videos that are just like random normal people. I mean, normal is like, you know, just people who you wouldn't initially think to interview. Like some waitress at a diner, or I don't know, some dude who works like a 9 to 5. I would just find that those interviews interesting. I mean, not that I don't like the ones that are, you know, about people who've been through shit or, you know, saved a family of 10 from a fire or accomplished some amazing thing. But I just think it's interesting to see ordinary interviews too. But I still have time because I'm sure they're gonna give us like a section of the class to like think about what you want to do. And I'm not even in the class yet. That's not till spring semester. I think I want to take dance for my PE credit. I don't have dance experience, but I mean, it's dance class, you know, it's going to teach me. I feel like it's just a cool, you know, beats PE. I mean, there's like a self-defense class too, which arguably might be more useful, but dance. And then there, oh, I'm, I'm taking the initiative, and me and some of the other music students are peer pressuring the music director to add more music classes. And I saw him yesterday because there was like, I drove to the college, like I said, and there was like a little open house. So I'm like, oh, might as well stop by. And I was like, well, can you add like another ensemble class or like another singing class? And he was like, well, if you can get enough people who say they want to do it, then I'll think about adding it. So I went and like messaged everyone who I knew who had their number and knew they might be interested. And I got like a decent amount of names, so I emailed him yesterday a list of names. So I'm hoping we at least get one ensemble. But then that's gonna even make a I'm already like looking at too many classes I want to take, and now I'm like making more classes because I can't be like, oh, can you add this music class and then not take it? So duh. And then there's like required classes I have to take for my major that I'll probably do this semester. Like I have to take music appreciation, which I feel like I don't have high hopes for. I mean, it's music, which I like, but music appreciation, like, are we just like listening to music and appreciating? I don't know. I don't have to take music theory, but I think I'd rather take music theory than, I don't know, maybe I'll like music appreciation. I'm just imagining it as like discussion questions, like, what did you think of John Lennon? I don't know. But I don't think it'll be super hard, so I mean, it could be worse. I could have to take like another math class, which saying that, I took my math is like the one class I don't think I'm doing good in. I just took the midterms, and I think a good amount of the questions I generally had no clue how to solve. This is me reminding myself, now I know. Now I'm reminded that I have math homework to do tonight after I'm done talking. But I've been singing all weekend and playing music because I'm trying to get better. I would show my room, but it's, I mean, there's no reason for me not to show my room, but it's just a complete mess. Like, there's music all over my bed, sheet music, all over the piano stand, and like, not a piano, but keyboard, and like the keyboard itself is sheet music. There's a little desk, not like bed stand over there with a stack of books, and then piano music on top. And then there's 2 guitars on this bed. I just got a new guitar yesterday, which is awesome. It was donated to me by a friend, and it's like, I think it's like brand new, or at least like just slightly used, and an amp too. It's awesome. It's so, I'll show it. It's gorgeous. Oh, I love it so much. My acoustics right there. It's just a mess. It's not like a mess like gross, like I don't have like food wrappers and stuff, but it's just like a musician mess. Like it looks like I'm having like a manic moment in here. But it's not hard to clean up. But my voice was like all raspy yesterday. I was singing way too much, but I'm just really, I want to get better. I'm really not happy with my voice right now, and I want to get better. And I have like, you know, it's approaching the end of the semester, and I have a lot of like, there's a musical performance that I'm doing a couple scenes in, and there's like the solo performances, and then my rock class performance, and I'm like really just not happy with where I am yet for all of those, and that's like next month. Which, I mean, even if I'm not happy with them, I'm still gonna perform. I'm not gonna be like one of those people who I'm like, oh well, I'm just gonna back out last minute. But obviously I'd rather be confident for it. And I feel like I've gotten way better at pitch detection and like matching pitches. It's just like being able to, you know, be thinking about matching the pitch in my head and also like sing. It's like multitasking, you know, making sure I'm hitting the right pitch with like the sheet music or whatever I'm using. And then also, you know, singing it good. And then for the musical songs, you know, doing the acting as well. And projecting too. That's like one of my hardest things, is projecting my voice loud enough. Probably doesn't help that I'm like a bedroom musician, because obviously when I'm in my room recording myself on my phone, I don't have to worry about projecting my voice as much. But in school, when I'm like performing with other loud instruments in the background, and there's, you know, people like across the other side of the room, especially if I don't have a mic. I don't think for the musical class we're gonna use mics. I just really have to get better at projecting. But at least I'm kind of aware of what I need to work on, so I'm not just like, oh, I suck. Like, I know what I need to keep working on. I can't let myself be overwhelmed either, because if I'm going to be taking even more music classes next semester, I can't be saying I'm overwhelmed right now. But I'm learning another song on piano too. I feel like I just need to get like more consistent with my goals. Like, one obvious goal I have is, you know, releasing music. I have so many written songs. But at the same time, I feel like I need to keep working on my school music and cover music more. Because I feel like every musician, for the most part, there's obviously some exceptions, but generally like have a cover phase when they're learning. You know, obviously when you're like learning an instrument or learning to sing, usually you start learning covers of other people's songs before you start singing your own or playing your own songs. So I think I kind of skipped that phase quickly, which isn't awful. I mean, I love making music, but I think I need to keep doing covers, because I feel myself getting kind of trapped in like the same little genre and voice range, because that's what I'm comfortable with, and like the same chord progressions and all of that. So I think I need to work on taking from other music artists more, learning new songs vocally and on guitar, and learn piano more, who have, you know, a wide variety of ranges and just styles. Because that way, you know, when I'm making my own music, I'll be like, oh, well, now I know how to sing these notes really good, or, you know, oh, I'm inspired by that song. That's different from everything else I've played before. Speaking of music, I've been listening to Haley Hendrix. I think that's how you say her last name. It looks like Hendrix, but it's like spelled a little differently. Beautiful, beautiful. I already like have listened to her before, like her most popular songs, which are really pretty. But she just came out with a new album, and I've been, you know, doing another. I've been doing a little deep dive on her and just listening to all her stuff. I think she's like 31. Every time I find a music artist I like, I look up their age, and I look up the age when they released their first album. Their current age, their age when they released their first songs or albums, and then if it's on their Wikipedia, the age they started singing. And then I compare myself to that. Which usually I do good in the aspect where, I mean, it just depends, obviously. There's like some music artists where, you know, they start releasing music when they're like 12 years old. But then when I see, the part that like hurts the most is like when they're like, oh, I've been singing since I was 5 years old in my church choir. And that just makes me feel like so behind because I'm 16, which I know is not old, but I'm like just learning to sing at 16. And then there's all these people who've been singing since they've been 5 years old. And I'm so annoyed that I can't decide to get better at singing overnight. Like I know where I need to improve in, but I like physically can't do it that fast, which makes sense. Obviously, you know, no one learns how to do anything overnight. No one like can learn Mozart or to be an amazing guitar player in a couple weeks or a couple months, but it's just aggravating. But most people I look up to don't release their first EPs at 16, so I'm not behind in that way. But also, I really don't need to compare that either, because even if I release finished, more furnished music after people who I look up to have at an older age, that's perfectly fine. But I was talking about death earlier, and death makes me not like, I don't think about how I'm scared of death. I'm just scared of running out of time, which I guess, you know, again is correlated to death. Oh my god, I like go crazy. The only thing that really drives me crazy is when I'm recording myself playing music and there's like stomping upstairs, and then I like start going ballistic, like in my head. Like I don't say anything to them, but how many times have I recorded myself playing a song and then someone like opens a door upstairs or stomps and I have to re-record it, or they start vacuuming, which I mean, again, it's something I can complain about, but it's just what aggravates me. But I've been doing really good. Halloween, I haven't like recorded a little thing in a while. Halloween, I stayed at school all night because the theater students had a performance, and me and one other student recorded it because it was supposed to be the people taking video production too were like supposed to, as part of their class, record the theater play that day because they like post it somewhere, or I don't know where it goes, but half of the people in that class were either in the play or they just didn't show up, probably because it was Halloween night. But I mean, it's still their class, I don't know. So it was just me and one other student, and we're both first years, but we ran the cameras and filmed that, so that's what I did for Halloween. And they were having like a Halloween party downstairs. I mean, it wasn't like a party because it was like at a community college, but there was free food, so it wasn't an awful Halloween. And then I'm still working the football games. I think there's only a couple left because obviously football season's almost over. I made a resume this morning. Not that I didn't have one before, but it's kind of an updated one. Now that I'm in college, I can like write down the experiences I have operating cameras and using programs and all that stuff. Oh, and on Halloween I kind of dressed up. Me and my friend were matching. We were both dressed as characters from a video game called Life is Strange. I was Max Caulfield and she was Kate Marsh, and I brought a little Polaroid camera with me, which I don't ever use because Polaroid film is so deathly expensive that I don't plan on buying anymore, even though Polaroid cameras are cool. But I did use some of it because the character has a Polaroid camera, and you know, might as well use some of it and not just hoard it forever. Oh, I keep losing track of what I was gonna say. I was saying I should sort out my goals more. Because some days I'm really focused on. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm probably in a good place. I just overthink it a lot. Because I put a lot of time into my music, and then I'm like, I should be working on doing covers. No, I should be working on original music. No, I should be working on singing. No, I should be working on piano. But I mean, it's all in the same genre. It's not like I'm switching like between completely different things. It's probably good to be doing multiple things every week instead of just honing in on one helps you get better in one thing, but you know, keeping myself freshed up. It's so dark now. The sun's gone down, but I don't really have another light. But I don't know, I'm just having one of those days where I hate my singing voice. I want to be better. But then I've literally just been singing for like hours, and I know that's not good for my voice. Not that I really care, but my voice got like so raspy yesterday, and I don't want to damage it. Like, I know a voice teacher would be like, no, you shouldn't sing for multiple hours in a row, but I mean, I know I don't know, I just want to get better. I'm learning the second song I'm ever learning on piano. It's like a super hard one to do on piano. I started taking piano lessons. I think I said that. They're like free piano lessons on Wednesdays. And I showed her. I don't even know if she fully, because she's like my age, literally. She's still in high school, my piano teacher. And I don't even think she could like fully understand the sheet music. And I'm like, well, that's the song I'm gonna learn. And I'm getting it down a little. Like I'm doing better at it, I guess, than like I was yesterday or the day before. Definitely, I did a lot on that song yesterday. But it's still, you know, if I chose an easier song, I probably would have learned it faster. Obviously. Oh my god, I'm like, it's so dark in here. My apologies. I don't think anyone who like listens to these though watches me talk, because I mean it's not really eventful. I'm not like putting anything on the screen. I'm just talking. I've just been trying to evaluate what I want to. I know music is my obviously my biggest passion. It's what I want to do with my life. But I know it's just not. I don't know. It's kind of scary. It's scary saying you want to do music in like the money sense. And I'm trying to get past. I feel like as I get older, I'm becoming more aware that money isn't like the only thing that matters in life. And I'd rather spend my life doing what I want to do than just making money. But it's still, you know, it would be nicer if like nursing was the thing I love, because that obviously brings money in. And music is not guaranteed. But I mean, oh well. I just don't want to be like one of those like people who are, you know, oh I make music, but I'm like couch surfing and, you know, using other people for money. Not that I feel like I'm that kind of person, but I don't want to become that, you know. I don't want to have to do that. That like stereotypical musician, which is like why the reason people don't want to become musicians is because they don't want to be like that stereotype. I guess it's up to me in a way. I was literally like crying last night and today trying to sing this one song because I was like just so unhappy with it. And I felt like I was so confident with it like a couple weeks ago. It was one of my musical theater songs. And then on Friday when I had my musical theater class, I like performed it like for the rehearsal because, you know, we're all practicing. So she was like, really, do your song. And I felt like it went so awful. So then I went home like feeling like shit, and I was like, oh my god, I need to keep working on it. So I've been working on it all weekend, and I feel like less confident with it than I did before I performed it, which I'm sure is more of a mental thing than like an actual getting worse thing. You know, I don't think I'm getting worse, hopefully not. But it just went, I mean, it wasn't like completely awful. I think the worst part was just like I did it and no one really said anything. And then it's like that kind of thing where like, after we like perform a song for practice, people like critique it, like give helpful advice. And I didn't get a lot of like critique or advice, which is like, I think it's because like they felt bad, you know, like it's that thing where like if someone doesn't do good, you're not gonna like point out little nitpicks because you're like, oh well, they probably already feel like shit. It wasn't like you know, it didn't go awful, you know. I don't think it was like the worst practice performance of that class so far, because obviously again we're still practicing. It wasn't like the final performance. But then like the girl who went after me, she got like a lot of applause. You know, people were literally crying. They're like, it was so good. Oh my god, my eyes are watering. And I was like, oh, I love how that was right after my performance. And I guess it's motivation to get better, of course. But it just like hurts my, you know, I was like, oh, I thought I got kind of good at that song. And then I performed it, and I was like, oh, it didn't go as good as I thought. And I wish I like was recording it, so I could listen to see how, like what. I mean, I can record myself singing it now, of course, and listen back to it. But I want to like record myself while I'm in that theater room, so I can like understand how I think my worst thing is just not projecting enough, which is better than like singing completely off key. But I just sing too quietly, and not because I'm like shy, or because I'm like, you know, not happy with the song. It's just I need to learn how to sing. Like it's hard for me to sing louder, which like I said, I think is partly because I'm just used to recording myself singing quietly in my bedroom because, you know, not in front of an audience. Then I have a song I have to learn for my rock class, which is Tuesday, and I don't have it memorized at all, and that's just 2 days away. So I feel like I'm gonna show up and not have it memorized. But this is why I hate having like multiple things, because it's like I want to keep working on singing, but then I have to do this, and it's not even awful. I have to do math homework. Like I could be more overwhelmed, definitely, but I don't like having to pick. because either way, no matter what I end up choosing I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to feel like, oh, well, I didn't get to do this thing, so I'm unproductive. But yesterday was good. I drove for the first time, so that's another thing I've done. It wasn't an awful weekend. Last weekend I was so depressed, I don't even know why. I like physically felt like shit because I got like a flu shot, which sounds like traumatic, but I don't know, it screwed up my brain a little that weekend. So I think I had a better weekend. It's weird how, weekends are usually like the thing people look forward to because they're not in school. But I don't dread the weekend, but once I get to the weekend, I'm like, oh. But then once it's Monday, I'm all happy because I'm like, oh yeah, it's the beginning of the school week. I have a full week of school. But then when it gets to like Wednesday or Thursday, I'm like, whoa, I'm already halfway through the week. It's going to be the weekend soon. Ew. So I'm not really looking forward to the spring or winter break. I mean, I'm not like, I won't die, but it'll give me time to work on music and singing. But I just like being social. Because school's the only time I get that. I guess I'll be working now. So I'll be working during winter break. And pick up more hours, get more money. Work towards that card fund. It's literally pitch black now. I should have put a light on or something. Oh well. I'll probably stop talking now. So I can... I don't want to do math homework. I want to keep working. I think I'll sing a little more. But then, will I even do math homework tonight? I'll make myself do one. Maybe I'll do the math homework right now real quick and get it over with. So that way I can go back to my music for the rest of the night. Yeah. But what are my goals right now for myself? Toppest priorities, like in the short-term goals. Really work on that musical song and work on my 2 other songs that I am learning for my voice lessons. After that, work on my rock ensemble class song on guitar, which I don't think I'll get memorized by Tuesday. It's not even a song that I have to do. There's one song, and all the songs I'm pretty like happy with my role in them. There's one song where I'm a backup singer, but I only say like 3 words total in the song. Like I just harmonize like at the end of like every other verse. I only say like 10 words, not even. So I was like, oh, I can learn guitar on this one too, and vocal, so that way I'm not just standing there waiting to say my lines. So I don't even have to learn the song on guitar. But I said that, so now I feel like I'm kind of expected to have learned something when I show up. But, so I guess, it's not the biggest deal. And then after that, I work on my math homework. I guess I have other classes too that I can work on. And then I think after that, I'm putting my own music, just because I've been mainly honing on my own music for most weeks. I think I need to take a week to work on my school music. As much as I want to work on my music too, because it's just so, I love it. But like I was saying, I'll become a better musician, just have better skills doing more covers and school songs. I still have so much time ahead of me. Not that I'm like stopping making music, of course. I'm just saying I should take a little break and work on, not like take a break, but just switch my priorities for a little and focus mainly on schoolwork, at least this week, school songs. And then after that, priorities, I guess writing more songs, and I feel like I haven't written in a while, and just playing more guitar. I've been really doing piano a lot, so don't want to stop playing guitar. Like guitar outside of school guitar. But I don't know, it's mainly music, and I guess that's good. There's worse priorities and things to have to do. Definitely. And now it's completely pitch black, so I'm gonna stop recording because it feels kind of, it doesn't really feel weird now, it's just like a podcast. Alright, good night to whoever's watching this. Hope you have a good morning or day or whatever. Yeah, alright. Good night.